Hi, my name is Ashish, and in this video we will see SC-200 Microsoft Security Operation Analyst, and in this video we'll give you an introduction to Microsoft 365 threat protection. As we all know, Microsoft 365 is an integrated threat protection suite with solutions that detect malicious activity across email, endpoints, application, and identity. These solutions provide a complete attack chain compromise story that enables a complete understanding of the threat. Let me show you one picture and discuss the role of a security operation analyst that is planning to implement Microsoft 365 Defender solutions and which is related to endpoints, identity, email, and applications. Okay, so this is the type of attacks, right? It's a simple attack chain graphic below which you see the attacker activity visible to each Microsoft 365 Defender products and how this suite in total would help you to mitigate attacks from any source or activity. So you have Defender for Office 365, which will save us from phishing email, attachments, or a URL, or when browsing a website, which can be external threats. Then we have Defender for IoT, which saves us with the IoT devices exploitation, disrupt OT environment, which is the OT environment on the on-prem. You have Defender for endpoint. Then you have Microsoft Defender for cloud, Defender for identity, Azure AD identity protection, Defender for cloud apps. Then you have Microsoft Sentinel, in which you can cover yourself using insider risk, which pull up all the data from all the sources using data connector into a Sentinel, through which you can use Sentinel features to do proactive threat hunting as well. And it will give you history of violations, distracted and careless, and subject to stressors as well, which are leading indicators. All right, and now you can explore the extended detection and response use cases, which is XDR, which is the detection of threat. Let me share one scenario with you through an image where Microsoft Defender for Endpoint would detect a malicious payload which could come from any source, including personal email or a USB device or any application that is installed on your computer by mistake, or which was not validated application that could compromise your infrastructure. Right? You see this picture, right? So let's say one of the users in our organization receives a malicious email. Let me draw that. Okay, let's say the user here open an attachment, receives a malicious email which is not protected by Microsoft Defender for Office 365, or you can say MDO, or there was a USB that was inserted and opens up the attachment. Once the attachment opens up here, it is detected, the malware infects the computer. The user is unaware that an attack has taken place, but Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, which is protecting the environment, right, detects this attack. It would raise an alert to the security operations team, and it will provide detail about the threat to the security team, right? It will also disable the user access from device while infected, which is Microsoft Defender for Endpoint would communicate to your Intune that risk level on this endpoint has changed. Intune would mark the account in Azure AD as non-compliant within the organization policy and conditional access blocks on that. And then user would not be able to log on to his computer and the further attacks could be saved, right? How will you restore the access? Let's say the alert is generated. You see that alert in your Microsoft Defender portal, and then how would you get a ticket that, okay, I'm not able to log on to this computer, I'm not able to access any apps due to compliance. When you receive that, you have to restore the access. So once the infected device has been remediated, once you have, okay, you will see the alert, you will see the application, you will see if it's a known good or a known bad. You would whitelist that application, or you would mark that particular alert as a result. Once you have remediated, MDE signals, the Microsoft Defender for Endpoint signals Intune to change the device risk status, and Azure AD conditional access will then allow access to enterprise resources. The threat signals in Microsoft Threat Intelligence, which is your Microsoft Threat Intelligence, which shares the intelligence data, are used by Microsoft tools securing other parts of the organization, which is your Defender for Endpoint, Defender for Cloud, and then it would use these signals to detect intermediate threats in your email, Office collaboration, Azure, and more. Okay, now this is still compromised. Let's say the device we have not remediated and the device is compromised. This your suspend access will be suspended during the compromise, and then conditional access in your Azure AD knows about the device risk because Defender for Endpoint notified Intune, and which would then update the compliance status of the device in Azure AD. And during this time, when the access is restricted, user is restricted from accessing corporate resources, and this applies to all new requests and will block any current access to the resources that support the continuous access evaluation. Right? And then once the access is restored and the alerts have been cleaned up, thread has been cleaned up, now Defender for Endpoint would trigger Intune to update Azure AD and conditional access restore the user access to corporate resources. This mitigates risk to the organization by ensuring attackers who may be in control of these devices can't access corporate resources, while minimizing the impact on user productivity to minimize disruption of business processes. And then there are, roles of 365 Defender in a security operations SOC, which we will discuss in the next video to give more insights that, okay, how would 365 Defender, plays a big part in security operations center, and then how are these two integrated in a modern security operations center teams. I hope I was able to explain you the how the endpoint is compromised and how Intune, a Defender for Endpoint, and other Defender capabilities comes into picture. In the coming videos, we'll do labs as well, wherein I will show you the portal and other tasks that are associated with Microsoft 365 Defender. So if you have any further queries, please mention them in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Have a good day.